Welcome back to Echo Ridge and another episode here in our Max Colonization series where our friend the big asteroid is on its way. Unfortunately, we have a problem, hence the reason I am paused. I loaded into ONI today and realized we're down to 3,200 calories. After a brief investigation and seeing some snarky comments from the last video, well, our gas vent is overpressured because we did such a great job providing oxygen for our dupes. Unfortunately, I have no plastic to where I could create a high-pressure gas vent. That would fix the problem. So next up would be running a gas pipe all the way to the vacuum of space. And that's going to take a few minutes. So I need to figure out calories in the meantime. Alternatively, I could run a gas pipe going down. Because remember, the bees really like our carbon dioxide. But looking at it, it seems like the vacuum of space might be the better idea, but then again, the asteroid's going to have something to say about that here in 89 cycles. So maybe we go down, and it won't necessarily be a vent pipe, it'll just be a carbon dioxide pipe that we're strategically locating down in the bee biome. Also, in today's episode, I am going to start building our defensive mechanism so that we can withstand the impact of that big rock, and I think we're going to go insulated tiles quite literally to block this thing in. Then all I have to worry about in the meantime is the vents around the planetoid. Well, that's the kind of the thing. We didn't end up with too many dangerous vents. The only one I have found so far is this volcano here. And I'm hoping and thinking that this insulated tile will have that blocked. The reason why I need to block the whole thing in is because it's going to take us a little while in order to get reed fiber, or in this case, the tail feathers from the wrecks, giving us feather fiber, which means suits are going to be delayed. I could spend the next 90 cycles working on Rex farms and getting those up and running, but we have to deal with the closest alligator to the boat, or the closest asteroid to the planetoid. Alright, so step one, food. I can't walk around killing the lums because they would just end up giving us tough meat, which I can't currently cook. I suppose to start off with, we can cook some of these mimolets. We have 9 seeds, and each one of them will feed a dupe and a half, so I'll put those on forever. I have no idea how one butterfly seed can feed a duplicate and a half, but we'll go with it. And you might be thinking, well, time to start putting down some dartles. Unfortunately, the dartles only give you 800 calories of meat, so it would take 4 dartles before we could even start cooking barbecue. So I don't know if that's the solution. So while we still have this paused, I am going to set the construction commands. This is going to be somewhat of a cattywampus run, but it'll all work out in the future. Do not worry. I'm sure we won't run out of food, and we'll just drop a nice little gas vent right here. A couple of expertly placed bridges, and now the dupes have something to do if they want to eat. Time to unpause. 2,800 calories, and not a single piece of shale has been dropped off to the gas pipes. Let me raise the priority on this construction. We'll make it a priority of 6. Yes, little dupes. Dig and build like your life depends on it. Because, well, it does. In the background, the duplicants are going to continue on in the production of the intercosmic blast shots. We are up to 34, so I think that process is going A-okay. We only have 30 more seacomb leaves to turn into phyto oil. That's good news. 56 batches of biodiesel, and then there's the 62 intercosmic blast shots. So we're ahead of the curve in everything but duplicate labor. And already the carbon dioxide is starting to flow, and that's because it's taking it to the next bridge. And the next one's finished. Oh, look at the dupes doing such a good job. Now, granted, they're not going to be happy running through this chlorine, but baby steps. I think I'm also going to dig out these tiles here. It'll help some of this chlorine to fall down. Come on, smoker. Remember, each recipe of the, in this case, veggie poppers takes 600 seconds. I realize I probably need to queue up some tender brisket as well for the eventuality when one of these lums goes away. Granted, one's 111, the other's 126, so we have plenty of time before that happens. Calm down, it's gonna be okay. Okay, 1,100 calories. Come on, veggie poppers. And oh my goodness, I just realized we're sitting on a stockpile of 108 megafraud grains. Those are certainly going to go bad, but I might as well kick this on forever. Where did all those grains come from? This one here must have been producing for quite some time, because I think that's the only one that we've dug out and have access to so far. Andy is trying to get the veggie poppers out of the smoker, and there they are. We're back up to 17,000 calories. I told you it was going to be fine. Now I can worry about the subject at hand. Man, I hate we're losing this water geyser. Well, let me say I'm pretty sure that we're going to lose it. It'll be a good science experiment. The rest of this is just going to take a interesting ladder run and some digging. And I suppose we'll start our construction right here. I don't think there's a big risk about running into the tile next to where the asteroid's going to be coming. This should be fine. Oh, I'd really like not to use shale, but do I have enough material of anything else? I have a lot of granite, but granite's melting point is 668. And while I'm not worried about the heat in the immediate time frame, I have no idea how long it's going to be before we can get up there. But we have more shale than anything else, and this will be quite the construction project, so we might as well go with shale. And I'll just start going up and around like this. Now, I'm going to be trying to save as much of the materials as we can. We're going to be digging out quite a bit, but I would rather this be a clean wall instead of just a jagged wall that goes everywhere. We'll have to see how it comes out. Definitely don't want to lose all that water. I mean, it is really ugly. It'd be nice to save that Rex. I don't know if it'll happen. You know what? I don't know if we have the time for this, but it might be better to drop all those materials first and then build the wall. I kind of want to build the wall first, just in case we run out of time. Let's see, if I drop all of this, by digging out all through here, it'll all fall in some of these runs here. Okay, looks like we're getting ready for some 7 high ladder runs. Now, we've talked about it a little bit in the past, but there's a reason why you might like to do the 7 high ladders when you're doing massive digs like this. And the reason is because a dupe can dig 3 tiles down from a ladder and 4 tiles up. So it'll limit the amount of construction projects you're going to have to do. Give me a few minutes to set the scaffolding, and then we'll get to work. Oh, that is an infectious polluted oxygen vent. I'm going to want to seal that in. Are there any other quality vents up there? Maybe I should just dig out the entire top of the biome? Do I have enough time for that, though? We did get another digger in Calorie, who is ready for super hard digging. Alright, we have the ladders where we need to do the digs in. Some of the more complicated areas are going to be where there's water. So when I am doing the digs, I'll make sure I dig around that a little bit and start pumping the water somewhere. I guess our regular tank that we're not really using has plenty of room, so I'll add a not nickel liquid vent. There'll be a little bit of polluted water here, some salt water. I don't really need any more polluted water, but I could bring it all the way down here, even though that is a much longer run. So I'll put a vent right there. I do have some brine here. There is, no, that's salt water, not brine. What am I going to do with it? Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Leaving enough room so all that stuff can come drop down here freely. I'm not too worried about the thermals. There is a bunch of cold debris in the middle of this, especially when it comes to brine ice. So it's going to be a swampy mess. There's nothing I can really do about it. Maybe I make a big bucket. That way when some of that stuff does drop and starts melting, it doesn't go anywhere. The bucket, or probably more aptly named the shelf, would have to be below the area where the asteroid's coming in. Or I could just take this brine ice, remove the sweep only, put a nice door right here. I don't think dupes can reach all the way down there, and then just make sure that they can't get over or through that door. Same thing for the standard ice. Here we go. Dupes cannot pass left, at least for now. And now as I queue up all these dig commands, suppose I need a couple of ladders here. All that debris is going to drop. The ice will go where the ice needs to go, and we should be okay. I am sort of keeping an eye on the clock, though. I am probably going to get some of this done and realize, oh, I don't have enough time. As an example, this is 2 cycles worth of progress. Why don't we do one of those good old-fashioned montages and see how we do? We'll be back in a minute. I hate to take a brief identification break, but apparently this area right here had entirely too much oxygen because it still has 20 kilos per tile, and it is slowly spreading out throughout the base to where everybody's getting popped eardrums. Oh well. Sit back and enjoy the music. And I think that's gonna be about it, for the simple reason that we have 50 cycles left. Yeah. I've also found a problem. I'm not sure what I did wrong in my calculations, but we're a little phyto oil shy. You can see there's no more in this tank, and yet the emulsifier still needs 36 biodiesel recipes. So I'm just gonna queue up the seacomb to phyto oil, which we have plenty of seacomb because we should have finished a while ago. We're at 60 intercosmic blast shots, not too shabby. I also wanted to show you this pod. It's a little bit interesting considering it has the seed of a bonbon tree in it. I'm going to go ahead and print this, but we're probably not going to use it, though no promises. The reason why I'm saying that is because it was my intention from the beginning of the playthrough to try to use what was organically found on this planetoid for building up this planetoid. It helps me highlight what's going on in the prehistoric pack DLC. We're almost done with some of this digging up here, although I don't think it's too big of a deal. And yes, I know we're venting all sorts of oxygen out in the vacuum of space, but we'll get to that here in a minute. Because now it's time to build the Great Wall of Asteroid? I don't know. It's gonna be like a baseball glove. It's just gonna catch it. So with that keeping in mind, maybe we just trace this whole thing in. I mean, this looks kind of cool. There's gonna be some places like here where I'm gonna need some additional scaffolding. And I'm sure the dupes are going to get stuck from time to time. It's what they do. I do not need to build any insulation here because this is abyssalite. And the abyssalite will do a much better job than our insulated tiles will. And now on to the left side. I'm going to try to double insulate this depending on how much time we have left. But like I said, this single layer of insulation will do a fine job. Well, up until it won't. Ooh, this place is going to be a little awkward. We're just going to have to cut it directly off. I can't build around that vent. And yes, we will be sealing in the Javos. There's nothing I can do about this unless I start storing all the polluted water. And I'm running out of time, people. All right, fine. Fine. We will save the Javos because we don't have enough to do on this planetoid as is. Bring this line over and through. Little liquid bridge action. And yes, I have to drain their tanks before I can do anything with them for the simple reason I'm going to end up with polluted water everywhere and stress will be an issue. It was a significant issue in the giant digs, but most of that was because of the popped eardrums because of that weird oxygen cavity. Hopefully I have enough time to recapture all of this power wire too. Alright, give me a few more minutes. Change one. I didn't realize we'd pretty much filled this entire tank already. So we're going to have to put it in the tank up here, which that is only a minor pain in the tuchus. I guess we're going to go up and around. And as predicted, Ed and Walt had gotten themselves stuck because they built the wall behind them instead of in front of them. In the middle of doing this weird shaped wall, I've realized I'm probably kicking myself in the toe. Oh, we got another stuck dude. Oh, look who it is again. Still didn't learn to build the walls on the right side, did you? And I think I'm going to save ourselves a bunch of time. There are no vents or geysers up here I'm going to need access to for a very long time. So instead of going through this weird build all the way up, well, I'm just going to sort of build the wall right across. This is going to give us plenty of insulation and plenty of room for activities later. I am still trying to save the Javo, do not worry. Okay, what happened? Oh, there was another angry poke shell. Where is your baby? Oh, this is not good. poor Jesse is hurt, to say the least, and I had removed our triage cots a little while ago because, well, we don't really need them. Well, if it weren't for the crabs. And unfortunately, there's a lot of build commands going right now, so I'm gonna top priority that, and then hopefully somebody will come save Jesse. And look who it is, finally deciding to pitch in. Josh Manchester. Way to go, Josh. Super proud. For this infectious polluted oxygen vent, since I'm having to build some tunnels up here to get to the rest of the insulated tile, I am going to seal it in with just a couple of insulated tiles, and hopefully that keeps it contained when all this opens up. I really don't feel like dealing with all the slime lung that it produces. Oh, well, I didn't think about this. There's a meteor shower going on, and, well, they're hot boys. Ye old copper meteors, and they're busting holes all inside of my insulated tiles. Oh, boy. Well, it sounded like a good plan digging everything out. I should have known better. That wasn't so bad. Just some, scaffolding that got hurt, and the plenty of holes in here. Unfortunately, this regolith is 200 and something degrees. None of it really made it inside. I say that as there's scalding messages. Oh yeah, that's pretty ugly. We'll get it situated. We only have a little bit more insulated tile over here, which we are hitting it from the bottom. And then over here, I was trying to do it from both sides, but the dupes are not cooperating because, well, I keep getting messes everywhere. Which means they get sopping wet, which means they get sad potatoes. On the good news front, this tank did get emptied, so it is time to move the Javo. The question is, where do we move him? If I put the Javo in here, it'll end up eating all the Pacu. So I'm thinking it needs to go swimming in this tank. That should be good. Now, can we please mop up the messes? Okay, apparently it's hotter up there than I expected. Ed and Walt, you're gonna have to scooch. Make room for Josh. One thing that did delay us is the fact that I had put the door a little too close to the ice. During the montage, the dupes kept coming, grabbing the ice and bringing it back up. So I had to scoot the door over. Everything's okay now, but there was 5-6 cycles there. I was like, what is everybody doing? Why aren't they up here digging? Out of an abundance of caution and because duplicant safety is the #1 priority around here, I have sealed us in. Unfortunately, the Javo did not make it. Now, I'm hoping I do have other Javos. I do have other Javos that are around, so they're not going to go extinct. Unfortunately, I think that's the only one, isn't it? The issue was them running around in all of this heat. It was starting to hurt some dupes. They're recovering, though. We now have 2 triage cots in a very professional-looking hospital. Can somebody mop this up, please? Thank you. Oh, and this too. And after all this time, I still forgot to move the crab. I'm sorry, Glenn. Somebody's saving you. Can we please find that egg? I have no idea where the egg is, so we are going to move the crab into the brine tank. At long last, we have 96 intercosmic blast shots. Combine it with these 4 up here, that is temporarily too hot to get to. We now have enough to be able to shoot Demolior out of the sky. Unfortunately, this is going to take some work because the meteor blaster requires 240 watts, and I don't want to hand deliver all those blast shots. We do have a mechatronics engineer, but I don't think putting a bunch of rails in here would be a very smart thing, especially with the temperature situation up here. Oh, 170 degrees. Maybe it'll vacuum out before we have to worry about that. As a reminder, we are going to be shooting it out of the sky. That way I can show you what happens, and then we'll just reload to before I fire the final shot so we can watch it then crash down on the planetoid. The question is, how do I get up here without any suit? I mean, technically it's just grams of carbon dioxide, so the dupes may not get scalded up there. Plus, I need to come all the way over here, deconstruct this door because all of this stuff is broken and I don't plan on flipping the switch to make it work. The automation really isn't too bad. We need to turn this one green, so we would turn this switch on, and we need to turn this one green, so we'd turn this switch on. In fact, I think I can do that even with them broken. And look at that, the door is open, even with broken switches. Then we'll rummage and inspect each one of these. Good news is we're going to get some sweet, sweet data banks out of this. And then we'll need to dig all of this. Oh boy, the dupes are not going to be happy about this. I apologize in advance. And then I suppose what I will do, since the meteor blaster can only hold so many, is put a smart storage bin, we'll say right here. I will load it with blast shots and then use an auto sweeper to keep loading the blast shots in the meteor blaster. You could also drop them off by rail, but I think this way will work as well. Well, I guess it's time to let the dupes get up there and see how well this fares. It's a lot of scaldings. I'm not loving this, but I don't really have a big choice in the matter. Why are you coming over here? Oh, we're still trying to repair things? Oh, this is not smart. Okay, so that was not really working, so I put it in some quick docks, and our oxygen line was still there, so it didn't take too long. We're still getting the scaldings, and I've even disabled the auto repair on all these ladders. Almost all of them, I guess. I'm trying to save the Javo because I know it's what the people want, but this isn't going really well. Only some minor burns, we put some cream on it, and they're right back to work. Now, it's going to be a double-edged sword. Because this is open, means more oxygen is going to flood this area, which means there's going to be more of an environment. Well, more of an environment. Oh my goodness, Josh, how did you end up over there? I think this is the quickest way. Let's at least dig all these up. Maybe their debris will not make such a mess. Oh, we need to hurry on this one. Oh, nope, another one went down. It's Glenn. I want to say that Glenn might have had 1 hit point left. It was really close. Fallout Stan was trying to sit in the triage cot, but I told Fallout Stan, it's not your turn. Maybe I should put a door that prevents some of the people who really shouldn't be up there from being up there. I'm going to cancel those digs, and I'm going to do one better. I'm going to move the ladder to go further up before it hooks over. Of course, it's super hot here. That's what happened. They were working up here and then fell. If you would have taken a drink out of the water cooler, you would have been fine. Let's look at the plus side. At least they all get to spend time together. But we only have 30 cycles. Can we please hurry up and heal? It is time to drop off the intercosmic blast shots, though. I will load those up there. We've got the errands. Oh, more headaches. Apparently all that brine ice has melted and we now have pressure damage in our tank. That's not great. Can we hurry up and try to deconstruct this? I tell you what, this has been chaos fueled. Callie's the next one heading to the hospital, but it's fine. It's okay, it's not really fine. This has been a cluster, but we're almost there. And then everything will happen automatically. I'm going to do the same thing here again. Build the ladders up over here, away from the scalding of this area. It's not the greatest solution, but it keeps them out of the hot stuff for longer. Because at this point, we're just playing merry-go-round on the triage cots. Half of our colony is somewhat injured. Like Callie. Callie might have a splinter or something. Like, you can go back to work. So far, Entenwald has gotten all the way up to this point with no scalding message. There's the first one. Just finished the auto sweeper. Very nice. At the beginning of this episode, I was like, this is probably not a good idea tearing up all this stuff. I didn't think of the fact that the meteors could come down, but it seemed like a lot of work for very little in return. We're still going to have plenty of materials on the planetoid, but a lot of folks were clamoring for it in the comments. So this is what I get. Pain. It's been such a long time since this game has humbled me as well as it has done during this episode. With the auto sweeper complete and dupes dropping off the intercosmic blast shots into the storage bin, it'll probably take them a little while at great personal sacrifice, but they will get delivered. All we need to do is select the meteor blaster, make sure it is set to accept intercosmic blast shots. The auto sweeper will start loading them. Thank you, trusty auto sweeper. And then target the big asteroid. And our first shot is fired. It takes a second for it to reload, and then fires another one. Now, last time I did this, I did not try to core out the entire area where the asteroid was going to hit, so whether or not 27 cycles is going to be long enough is anybody's guess, but we're here for it. Now, we still have dupes getting scalded, but we have plenty of triage cots, and they only have to deliver, I don't know, another 75 or 80 pieces of ammunition. You're really stepping up your game today, Josh. I really appreciate it. At the rate the meteor blaster is firing, this is going to be plenty enough time. We can already see quite a few blast shots making impact with the asteroid, and luckily enough for us, the devs made it to where you only need 100. When the prehistoric DLC was in its test branch, the asteroid would occasionally dodge a blast shot. We only have 11 more blast shots to deliver before the asteroid goes bye-bye. And we have 3 of them here, but unfortunately, the rest of them are sitting over here by the hot regolith. And everybody seems to be taking a break right now. I'm not really sure why. I tell you what, while I was in the middle of coring this area out, I thought it might have been a bad idea, but I didn't really put 2 and 2 together about the fact that we're opening up the entire sky to a bunch of meteors. To make matters worse, it was a copper meteor shower. Of course, it could have been iron, that would have been just as bad, but the gold wouldn't have been so bad. We need 7 more blast shots to hit, and there's 6 already that have been launched. Rather good, because the auto sweeper's given up. Josh hasn't, though. No, buddy, we don't need to repair this. That is on the very low end of the priority list. Thank you for trying, though. Oh yeah, there's no way Josh is making it home. Josh is going to scald themselves and then fall all the way down. Called it. And that was it. That was the last blast shot we needed. And look at us. Imperative achieved. Blast line of defense. Just a heads up, if you do not want to watch this, the next minute or 2 will contain some spoilers. And there we go, we get the achievement, and unfortunately, we're about to take in another meteor shower, which, as many of you guessed, is what caused the chaos of this episode to begin with. Fear not, because the start of the next episode will begin at cycle 176, and I'll make sure that last blast shot never makes it up there. So what are we going to be missing out on by not destroying the asteroid? Well, there are 3 points of interest. This one's hidden because it wasn't in the path of the blast shots, which have revealed this many space tiles. Of the 2 that we can see, one is a molten Demolior debris, where it has molten iridium and liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. More importantly, though, this is the one you want to be excited about because it has solid iridium, 17%, which is pretty good. And iridium is that new material that sort of shores up the gap in between steel and thermium, as it gives buildings a plus 500 to overheat temperature. The meteor shower is already over, and we are left with a wonderful stethoscope. Well, I suppose it's time to save scum. Except in this alternate timeline, I'm going to put the intercosmic blast shot, the 100th, behind this door, and then not let anybody in. Boy, if they only knew the chaos that is coming towards them, because someone lost an intercosmic blast shot. Has anybody seen the 100th piece of ammunition? I feel like it's gonna be important. I had a great time recording this episode. Well, most of it. I hope you enjoyed the chaos and are ready to see what happens in the next episode where we actually let the big asteroid hit us. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say in the comments below. And until next time, much love, happy gaming, and I'll talk to you soon.